This image shows a graduation ceremony at Kyoto University, which is well known for students wearing imaginative costumes rather than strictly formal attire. The tradition has turned graduations into a celebration of creativity and humor, with participants often dressing as fictional characters, pop culture icons, or other unusual themes while receiving their degrees. This photograph is associated with Hungarian troops on the Eastern Front during World War II and is often cited in discussions of wartime atrocities and occupation policies in Soviet territories. Images like this are used by historians to document the involvement of Axis-aligned forces in violence against civilians and to illustrate the human cost of the conflict on the Eastern Front. This photograph captures a moment from the 1956 Hungarian Revolution in Budapest, documenting the popular uprising against the Soviet-backed Stalinist government. Taken by Mario De Biasi, the image shows the tense atmosphere of the revolt, which became one of the most significant challenges to Soviet control in Eastern Europe during the Cold War. This image is associated with a World War II-era scene, often described as showing an execution or punishment carried out by military personnel. It is typically presented as a historical wartime document, illustrating the brutality and violence of the conflict in Europe. Though specific details about the exact event and individuals involved are not always reliably verified in circulating versions of the photograph. This image is often circulated as a World War II-era photograph showing an execution scene involving military personnel near the end of the conflict in Europe. It is typically presented in discussions about the closing stages of the war in 1945 and the broader, often grim realities of post-battle conditions and military justice during that period, though specific details about the exact event are not always reliably verified. This image shows the Krzywy Domek, or Crooked House, in Sopot, Poland, a uniquely designed commercial building created by Szokinski and Zaleski in 2004. Inspired by fairy tale illustrations, it houses shops, restaurants, and cafes as part of a larger shopping complex, and is known for its distorted, whimsical architecture and distinctive blue-green tiled roof. This image is associated with the Battle of Attu in 1943, part of the Aleutian Islands campaign during World War II, when Japanese and US forces fought on US territory in Alaska. The battle involved extremely heavy casualties on both sides and is remembered as the only major land combat of WWII on American soil. This image shows the iconic view of Mount Fuji over Honcho Street in Fuji-Yoshida, Japan, a popular photography spot known for its striking forced perspective composition. The street's alignment with the distant volcano creates the illusion that Mount Fuji looms directly above the urban landscape, blending traditional town scenery with one of Japan's most famous natural landmarks. This is the Velumir Aqueduct, located in Harderwijk, Netherlands. It is an engineering marvel designed to allow boats to pass over a highway, N302. The aqueduct is approximately 25 meters long and 19 meters wide. Opened in 2005, it handles traffic for both roughly 28,000 vehicles daily and passing watercraft. This image shows the Grand Lisboa Hotel in Macau, China, framed between older residential buildings along Dongwangyang New Street. The composition highlights the contrast between Macau's dense, traditional urban areas and its modern casino skyline, with the Grand Lisboa's distinctive curved tower standing out as a major landmark in the city. This colorized image shows Japanese soldiers surrendering in the Kerama Islands during World War II in May 1945, as they move from rocky shoreline terrain into the water toward waiting Allied boats. It captures the closing stages of the Pacific War, when remaining Japanese forces began surrendering following intense combat and prolonged resistance in the region. This image shows a U.S. Marine M4A3R3 Sherman Zippo flamethrower tank in action during the Battle of Iwo Jima in March 1945. These modified tanks were used by U.S. forces to clear fortified Japanese positions, such as bunkers and cave networks, providing close support to advancing Marines during the intense island fighting of World War II. This image shows an eruption of Mount Etna, Europe's most active volcano. Photographed from the nearby town of Zaffarana Etnea, The scene captures the dramatic lava fountains and ash emissions that regularly occur during Etna's eruptions and can sometimes disrupt air traffic in eastern Sicily. This image shows the Kelpies, two 30-meter-high horse-head sculptures in the Helix Park near Falkirk, Scotland, designed by sculptor Andy Scott and completed in 2013. Made from structural steel with stainless steel cladding, they commemorate the role of heavy horses in Scotland's industrial and canal history, while also referencing the mythical water spirits from Scottish folklore known as Kelpies. This aerial image shows MetLife Stadium in the New Jersey Meadowlands, surrounded by large parking areas and transport links. It is the home venue of the New York Giants and New York Jets, and is designed to handle major event crowds, such as NFL games and concerts. This image shows U.S. Marines engaged in intense combat during the Battle of Iwo Jima in February 1945, with explosions occurring near Japanese defensive positions at the base of Mount Suribachi. It reflects the harsh volcanic terrain and heavy fighting that characterized the battle during the U.S. campaign to capture the island in World War II. This colorized image shows Japanese soldiers surrendering in the Kurama Islands during World War II in May 1945, as they move from rocky shoreline terrain into the water toward waiting Allied boats. It captures the closing stages of the Pacific War, when remaining Japanese forces began surrendering following intense combat and prolonged resistance in the region. This photograph shows astronaut Bruce McCandless II performing the first untethered spacewalk on February 7, 1984, using a Manned Maneuvering Unit, MMU, to float freely away from the Space Shuttle Challenger. The iconic image captures him suspended in space above Earth, demonstrating one of the earliest examples of completely free human movement outside a spacecraft. This photograph shows U.S. Marine Private First Class Rez P. Hester of the 7th War Dog Platoon resting in a fighting hole during the Battle of Iwo Jima in February 1945, while his Doberman War Dog stands guard nearby. War dogs like this were used by U.S. forces to help detect hidden enemy soldiers and provide additional security during the intense island fighting in World War II. This image shows the intricate track network at the 18th Street Rail Junction in Chicago, photographed in 1983. The area features numerous crossings, switches, and interlocking track arrangements that allow trains to move efficiently between multiple rail lines, making it one of the most complex and important rail junctions in the city's transportation system. This photograph shows file clerks working at the Central Social Institution in Prague, Czechoslovakia, around 1937. The office used an innovative mechanized filing system with electrically operated desks that moved through a vast wall of thousands of filing drawers, reflecting early efforts to manage large amounts of administrative data efficiently before the digital age. This image depicts U.S. Marines during the Battle of Iwo Jima in 1945, shown raising an American flag on Mount Suribachi. It captures one of the flag-raising moments from the battle, a key turning point in the U.S. campaign to secure the island during World War II, which was marked by extremely heavy casualties on both sides. This image shows a wildfire in A Canisa, Galicia, Spain, during the severe fire season of August 2022, when strong winds and dry conditions fueled intense and fast-moving flames. Firefighters are seen responding to the blaze, which formed dramatic fire patterns as it spread through the landscape during one of the country's worst wildfire periods in decades. This photograph shows civilians sheltering under a destroyed bridge in Irpin, near Kyiv, Ukraine, on March 5, 2022, during the early phase of the Russian invasion. The damaged bridge over the Irpin River became a key evacuation route, with many residents gathering beneath it while attempting to flee the fighting. This Pulitzer Prize-winning photograph, Fire Escape Collapse, taken by Stanley Foreman in Boston in 1975, captures a tragic moment during an apartment fire where a young woman and child fell after a fire escape gave way. The image is widely recognized for its emotional impact and is often cited as having influenced stronger fire safety regulations in the United States. This historical photograph shows members of the Student Army Training Corps, SATC, at the University of Michigan in 1918, receiving vocational training as telephone electricians. The trainees are practicing utility pole climbing, an essential skill for telephone linemen, as part of a World War I-era program that combined military preparation with technical education. This image shows a rare lenticular cloud forming above Mount Fuji, where moist air is forced upward over the mountain and condenses into a smooth, lens-shaped formation. These stationary clouds often appear during strong wind conditions and are sometimes called mountain hat clouds due to their striking appearance over the peak. This image appears to be a vintage black and white portrait of an indigenous person posing outdoors with a walking stick and bundled branches in a natural setting. It is sometimes attributed to early 20th century ethnographic photography, including work associated with photographers like Edward S. Curtis, who documented Native American communities. This photograph shows circus elephants Kiri and Manny assisting in post-war cleanup efforts in Hamburg, Germany in November 1945. After extensive Allied bombing during World War II, animals from local circuses were sometimes used to help remove heavy debris and wrecked materials. The image reflects the unusual and resourceful recovery work carried out in devastated European cities after the war. This image shows Kenya Wildlife Service rangers sedating and treating a giraffe after it became trapped in a snare. The animal was tranquilized so the team could safely remove the wire, and water was poured over it during the procedure to help regulate its body temperature. This image shows a protest in Iquique, Chile in January 2022, related to public demonstrations concerning immigration and security concerns in the region. The scene captures a demonstrator blocking access in the area during a period of strikes and road disruptions tied to local political tensions. This image shows NASA's Curiosity rover operating in Gale Crater on Mars, where it studies the planet's rocky terrain and geology. The rover explores areas that show evidence of ancient environmental conditions, helping scientists investigate whether Mars may once have supported habitability. This image shows a near-infrared view of Neptune, taken by the James Webb Space Telescope, revealing its faint ring system in detail. The planet appears pale because methane absorbs much of the light in this wavelength range, while its largest moon, Triton, is visible as a bright object nearby. The observation highlights the dark, dusty nature of Neptune's rings, which are much easier to detect in infrared than in visible light. This image shows the damaged grain silos at the port of Beirut, which were heavily impacted by the August 4, 2020 explosion. Once a vital food storage facility for Lebanon, the structure was severely weakened and partially collapsed in the aftermath, and it has since remained unstable with ongoing safety concerns and occasional internal fires. This image shows mourners gathered at a memorial in Uvalde, Texas, honoring the victims of the Robb Elementary School shooting. The scene reflects community grief and remembrance following the tragic event, with people coming together to pay their respects. This historical photograph shows women working as telephone operators at the Brisbane Central Telephone Exchange in 1910, manually connecting calls using large switchboards and headsets. It highlights the early, labor-intensive nature of telecommunications, where operators played a key role in routing calls efficiently across the city. This photograph, taken by Yosuke Yamahata on August 10, 1945, shows a woman emerging from a bomb shelter in Nagasaki shortly after the atomic bombing of the city. It captures the immediate aftermath of destruction, with ruins visible in the background, and is part of one of the most extensive visual records documenting the devastation caused by the bombing. This behind-the-scenes photograph shows Adam West and Burt Ward filming the famous wall climbing sequence for the 1966 Batman. Rather than actually climbing a building, the actors were positioned on a horizontal studio set and secured with ropes, while camera techniques created the illusion of scaling a vertical wall. This photograph shows Brooklyn Supreme, a legendary Belgian stallion renowned for his extraordinary size. Standing over 19 hands tall and weighing around 3,200 pounds, he became one of the largest horses ever recorded and was famous for requiring specially made horseshoes due to his immense stature. This iconic photograph shows the members of the Beatles, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, during what is widely regarded as their final group photo shoot together in August 1969. Taken by photographer Ethan Russell at Lennon's estate, the session occurred near the end of the band's time together and shortly after the recording of Abbey Road. This image is a well-known optical illusion created by perspective, showing a man resting on a couch beside a gray dog, likely a Weimaraner. The camera angle aligns the dog's body with the man's head in a way that makes them appear fused into a single man-dog figure, producing a humorous visual trick that has been widely shared online. This image is a viral optical illusion, showing a person holding two fluffy cats in a way that creates a confusing perspective. The positioning of a second cat beneath the arm makes it look like the person's hand is passing through the body of the first cat. The effect has led to widespread online sharing and confusion, especially on social media platforms, where users often try to solve the visual trick. This image shows a digital art installation by Austrian artist Peter Kogler, known for immersive black and white grid environments that distort architectural space. Works like Next, exhibited at venues such as the ING Art Center in Brussels, use optical illusion patterns to create a disorienting sense of depth and movement, making flat surfaces appear warped and unstable. This image shows a well-known perspective illusion from Russian Hill in San Francisco, where the steep slope of the street and a carefully chosen camera angle make a house appear dramatically tilted. In reality, the building is properly aligned with the ground, and the apparent distortion is created by the surrounding incline and framing of the shot, with nearby cars and street elements enhancing the visual trick. This image shows the Guangzhou Circle, a 138-meter-tall landmark building in Guangzhou, China, designed by architect Joseph Di Pasquale. It serves as the headquarters for the Hongda Xingye Group and the Guangdong Plastic Exchange, and is widely recognized for its distinctive circular form, often cited as one of the largest circular buildings in the world. This image shows an Ankoli Watusi bull, a distinctive cattle breed native to East Africa, known for its extremely large horns and cultural association with wealth and status. The horns contain blood vessels that help regulate body temperature by releasing heat, an adaptation to hot climates. The breed includes record-holding individuals, such as Lurch, noted for exceptionally large horn size. This image shows Biografias, a sculpture by Spanish artist Alicia Martin, featuring thousands of used books seemingly spilling out of a building window. The installation is supported by a hidden metal structure that gives it stability, while allowing the books to appear as though they are cascading naturally, creating a striking visual commentary on literature and overflow of information. This image shows a silver Dodge Ram pickup truck driving through a large roadside puddle, creating a dramatic splash of water. The motion and timing of the shot emphasize the force of the vehicle moving through the flooded section of road.